Hi, all right, I'm doing something a little different today. I'm doing a screencast so you can see me, but you can also see my screen because I'm going to do the PowerPoint for mental health. I have tried to record this 410 times. I don't know, like literally so many times. So my baby's eating ice cream. Don't judge me. I just want to get this done. All right, so mental health. Mental health is our foundation for everything, our thinking, our communication, our learning, our resilience, our self esteem, our relationships, our physical health, our emotional health. Simply put, it's how we think, we feel, and behave. So, we touched on this last week. Hopefully, you guys were able to watch Inside Out, but our emotions are what shape how we feel and how we perceive the world, how we express ourselves, and we all have different emotions that drive us in our headquarters. If you watch the movie, so our emotions are what guide our kind of moral compass as well, and what we judge as right and wrong, how we respond to our situations. It also it's interesting because thoughts and feelings or emotions are a universal human experience. Everyone has them, everyone feels them, but the way people feel them and the way people experience them is all different, right? Because, like, for example, our moral judgment of right and wrong, um, people do wrong, right? And then people do right. Those emotions are different and they're felt differently and perceived differently by different people. So, we're going to talk about mental health disorders now. So, mental health disorders, a lot of people will have different mental health concerns at some point in their life. Almost everyone will. Especially like right now, a lot of people are trying to figure out the way they feel. They're feeling anxious, they're feeling depressed. Like there's so much going on with the coronavirus and with being locked in our houses. That is absolutely 100% valid. There's no true reason to be concerned right now because that's we're all feeling that way. But when something is an ongoing, you have signs and symptoms of something that is changing your thinking, your emotions, your behaviors, that is causing you problems functioning in your daily life. So, functioning by talking to your friends or your family or your work. Like if you're struggling to get out of bed, for example, those kind of just basic functions, that's when there's signs that there might be mental health disorder. But the signs and symptoms are going to vary depending on the disorder. So causes. So mental health disorders are generally caused by either genetic or environmental factors. The first one is inherited traits. So if someone in your family has a mental health disorder, you are more likely to as well. So if your mom has anxiety or your grandma has anxiety, you are more likely to. That doesn't mean you'll get it, but you're more likely to. Environmental exposure before birth. So when you were in the womb, if your mom was exposed to any environmental, um, like inflammatory, something that caused inflammatory conditions or a stressor or toxins, that is more likely to give you a mental health disorder. Of course, we know drugs and alcohol should never be consumed when pregnant. If they are, that can cause a mental health disorder. And then just our brain chemistry at certain points in our life from being exposed to certain things can be off. Our neurotransmitters are what carry our messages from our brain to our body. And when those get impaired because of environmental factors or damaged because of environmental factors, then that can lead to mental health disorders. That might look like a car accident or a brain injury or just something going on in our environment that our body is just something's throwing it off. Okay. So some facts. So 1 in 4 adults has a mental health condition. That's 450 million people. Mental health disorders can occur at any point in your life, but half of the conditions will develop by the age of 14, so right where you guys are at right now, and then 75% will develop by the age of 24. Of people who have a mental health disorder, 45%, or 1 in 10, will have more than one disorder at a time. So that might look like anxiety and depression. That might look like addiction and depression, or ADHD and anxiety. Any combination of mental health disorders. Anxiety is the most common mental health disorder in America. So a lot of times it'll be anxiety and something, but it can be any combination. So again, anxiety is the most common mental health disorder, but yet out of all the people with anxiety, only 37% will get treatment. And that's because of stigma, which we're going to talk about more Wednesday, I think. But stigma and discrimination against people with mental health is what prevents people from seeking treatment for it. So mental health disorders, like 450 million people have it. So many people have it, but no one wants to talk about it. But mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of. It's a medical condition, so it's just like having heart disease or diabetes, and it should be looked at the same way. So, but people have this idea that you're crazy, right? That's not true. It's just like any other. Your body is going through something. It's a disorder. Okay. Mental health disorders does not discriminate. It can affect anyone. So anyone at all. Some things are you're more likely to have it if you're a female or you're a male, if you're white or black. But with mental health disorders, it does not discriminate. It can happen to anyone regardless of their age, their gender, their income, social status, race, religion, sexual orientation. Does not matter. You're not more likely or less likely to get a mental health disorder. Mental health disorders can take many forms. Some can be really mild, and then some can be need hospitalization. It just depends on the condition and on the person, how severe it is. Okay, that is it for that. I'm going to explain your assignment now. So, your mental health disorder project. You're going to create a presentation to teach the class about a mental health disorder. You're going to post these to the mainstream of your classroom, just like you did for your All About Me project. So that way everyone can see it. So you can create this presentation using Google Slides, Prezi, PowerPoint, or Adobe Spark. It can be really any presentation maker. These need to be educational and accurate, but they need to be pretty easy to understand. So you're going to be the expert in whichever one you choose. So again, it needs to be informative, but easily laid out so people can understand. This is how it should be laid out. It should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slides. The first slide is what is it? Second slide is signs and symptoms. Third is treatment options, both natural and traditional. Natural would include things like meditation, essential oils, acupuncture, and then traditional would be medication prescribed by a doctor or whatever that might look like. How common is it? Ages most affected, interesting facts and statistics, celebrities that are affected by the illness, and then a works cited page. So where you're collecting your information from. And you can just copy and paste the link. You don't have to do a fancy APA or MLA format for me. So you can pick any disorder that you would like. It might be one that maybe a friend has, a family member has, or one you just have been impacted by in some way, or one you just want to know more about. It doesn't really matter. If you can't pick one, I'm happy to help you pick one. I'll just pick one at random for you. But you can choose from one of the 18 here. That includes generalized anxiety disorder, depression, seasonal affective disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dementia, schizophrenia, social anxiety, hypochondria, bipolar, post-traumatic stress disorder, autism spectrum disorder, eating disorders, addiction. Addiction is kind of an interesting one because you're going to have multiple components. Same thing with eating disorders. There's multiple kinds of eating disorders, so you're going to talk about multiple ones. Addiction, same thing. You can be addicted to lots of different things. Phobias, again, lots of different phobias. Panic disorder, self-injury, self-harm disorder, and then borderline personality disorder. So you can choose any of those that you would like, make the PowerPoint or presentation, and then post it to the classroom. And then on Wednesday, so try to have it done by Wednesday, and then Wednesday I will do another video teaching about all the things. So, all right. Have a good day. Have a good week. I will check in again Wednesday.